Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 452 for May 19th, 2024. Joining me this week, we have Andrew Rowe McFain.
It's me. I'm here again.
And I am here, Nathan Reeton Spruth. Hey, so you just got back from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Was the hotel room nice? We did a little bit of talking beforehand, and you had mentioned that it wasn't very fun for you to be in Chicago, but was the hotel room nice?
The hotel room was pretty nice. It was definitely like one of the nicer hotel rooms I've stayed in. It was a little questionable in some ways. Particularly like I don't know if this is just a normal thing now or what, that the bathroom door wasn't a real door.
Oh, that's weird.
Uh so it was like just a big sliding panel.
Oh, okay. So I've stayed at hotel rooms where it's like a sliding door and then it locks, like you can latch it.
Yeah, see, this one it had no lock.
Interesting.
And the centerpiece was like frosted glass. So like you couldn't really see through it, but you could definitely tell that someone was in there.
Interesting. I
Yeah, and also there was like a good half an inch gap between the door itself and the wall.
yeah.
Like it just felt very not thought out.
I've stayed at quite a few hotel rooms in the past couple of years just because of work. And no, I've never had to deal with something like that. The the weirdest one that I stayed in had two bathrooms, like two full bathrooms, which was awesome. So I, took a shower in one and then I took a shower in the other one the next day. Just cause. And then I also, when I went to Belgium for a day, I stayed at a hotel room there in Bruges, and the beds are weird. It's like a queen bed, but I noticed it was two beds put together, like two
Oh,
twin
okay.
mattresses in a frame. And I was
Yeah.
like, is that, I asked my friend, because, she lives over there. I was like, so is that like a European thing? Because I've never stayed at a hotel room in Europe. And she's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, all the hotels around here do that. They just put two beds together as their like queen size bed. And I was like, oh, okay. And then also at that same hotel room, they had a full bathtub, which was really nice. It was really deep. Oh, totally took a bath in that. But then they also had a separate shower. So it
Hmm.
was like the bathtub, and then to the left they had a standing shower. But there wasn't a shower in the bathtub.
See, our room only had a shower,
I hate
and
that.
the shower had no door.
Oh, I see. That will happen. I've had quite a few places that I've stayed at that only have a shower. And then also if you're like staying at Airbnbs in Europe, a lot of the Airbnbs will only have a standing shower, no bathtub. Uh,
But do the showers usually have like a shower curtain that goes across the whole thing?
uh, the ones I've stayed at have like a sliding door, like the ones that like fold.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
something that closes off the shower from the rest of the bathroom
yeah,
in some way.
yeah. No, you just
Yeah.
want it wide open. You
Well, that
want
was so this shower had a glass panel
okay.
that went across half of the length of the shower. The other half was just open.
That's strange.
It was
That,
very strange.
but I hope you had fun in Chicago. What I would like to do now is ask, where can we find you?
You can go to Rowadao website.
Perfect.
Uh, yeah, you
Anything
got all
you
that
wanna
stuff there.
anything you wanna mention specifically?
Uh, uh, Connor would like me to mention
Bug City
the
Blues.
Bug City Blues podcast that he does. Even though, when was the last time you guys actually got to play?
Like 2.5
Like,
months ago. It was like
yeah.
right before I went to Germany. We're gonna play today, May 19th, 2024, because finally things have aligned that we're all gonna be able to, like, we were gonna play last week, but it was Mother's Day, and one of our players is a mom, and apparently that's a big deal.
Bah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Of course, you can find me, Nathan Reeton everywhere at Reeton. The big one is Twitch, twitch.tv/Reeton. I play video games Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time-ish to 9 p.m. Pacific time-ish. And it's fun. We have fun there. What games have you been playing this week?
Well, spent most of my time in Chicago. Uh, so I mean, most of the time that I spent there that I was playing games, I was playing Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. Did you play that on the way? Because I know you took the train.
Yeah. I didn't on the way there because we had a what is called a roomette.
Mm.
Um, so we had our own little room. That was not it was not great. It was about the size of a closet. Uh,
See, I'm very
and there
tiny, so
was
it'd be
very
great
little
for me.
airflow.
I
Uh,
I want to do
if it had just been me, it would have been fantastic.
yeah, I want to do a sleeper train. Next time I go to Japan, I want to, like, cuz it's hard for me to justify being like, okay, I want to go to Kyoto, but that's like a 9-hour train ride. And just like wake up, go to the train station, you're spending about 9 to 10 hours doing a train ride. But you can do a sleeper train. And that would be nice. So you just sleep the whole way, and
Yeah.
then when you wake up, you're in Kyoto or Osaka.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like, because like I assume that it's because of my childhood that I spent a lot of time riding in the back of a semi truck.
Mm,
And so it kind of became, how like people that live in big cities, whenever they move out of the big city, they have trouble sleeping because like they get so used to like the city noise that it becomes like white noise for them. It helps them sleep.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, that is how I feel inside of a bumpy moving vehicle.
interesting.
Uh, it is extremely relaxing to me. So, the roomettes, you can turn the 2 seats into a bed, and I would definitely have just lounged in that the whole way.
Yeah, that would be
Um,
nice. I have to have everything like pitch black to go to bed. Like, I don't have to, but I prefer to have everything like pitch black, no noise, no TV, nothing.
hmm.
And my girlfriend is the exact opposite. And so like she wants like lights fully, like all the lights on, and then possibly something on the TV, to be able to go to sleep, to be comfortable. So
And
like,
I can somewhat relate. I am afraid of the dark, so
yeah, oftentimes, if we're in bed together, she'll open my closet door and turn on the closet light so that there is a light in there. And I'm like, man, need to be pitch black. Um, yeah, so that's fun. You played Vampire Survivors and you went to a concert.
Mhm.
I and you were terrified in Chicago apparently. But
Yep. Yeah, I don't plan to ever go back unless I really have to.
I'm I'm sure you'll have to go back there at some point in your life, but probably not for a long time. It's what's it, 6 hours away from you?
It was about 4.5.
Okay, that's not too bad. I've been in Chicago, as I said before the podcast. I was in Chicago for about 45 minutes. Oh, what was that? 6 years ago now that I went to
It was
go hang out with you.
uh it that might have been even longer than that, actually.
Yeah, yeah. It was a long
Was
time
it
ago.
was it like 2016?
I think it was after that. So I think it was
What?
2017 or 18.
Okay.
It was when I was
All
still
right.
working at Sony.
Was
Uh,
it it wasn't the year that I got married, it was the year after, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah, so that'd have been 17.
yeah. So We're gonna move on to the games I played. The games I played were on Monday. I played Halo Infinite with Durga.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because he was like, "Hey, I want to play." Mondays and or Fridays, I'll do like I'm gonna play random games or games with friends. And he was like, "I want to play Halo Infinite," and I was like, "Whatever, I have it in Game Pass, so I'll play it." And it's better now. They have improved it with updates. They have a lot more modes available, and I am still okay at the game. Like I was consistently ranking it like the top 1 or 2 in my team, which was pretty good. And Durga was also, it was Durga and I were like top 2 of our teams. So either the matchmaking sucks or we're still okay at Halo. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I played some Dragon's Dogma 2, which was fun. There was a quest. I'm gonna spoil a little bit, but it's like a side quest. So I just want to spoil it because it's one of the fun things about Dragon's Dogma is you go up to a guy and he's like, I got this book. I got this grimoire and I'm gonna read it and it's gonna make me super powerful and I'm gonna have lots of money to support my family. And he's like, I got this grimoire. I'm gonna read it. Come back to me in a couple days. So you come back to him in a couple days, and he's missing an eye. Like one of his eyes, he has one of his eyes bandaged up. Turns out that the book took one of his eyes, but he's like, this is the first part of the set. I need to read the second book and put them together, and then I'll be able to have the power. And so I Googled it. I cheated. And I was like, what happens if you give him the second book? And
it's going to take his other eye, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
So he has a wife and daughter. And what happens is he goes and he reads the book. And at first it seems that nothing happens. And then his wife and daughter turn into ash.
Well.
So what you can do is you go to another guy in a different city who can make forgeries. And so you hand him the book and you're like, hey, make a forgery of this. He spends a couple days making the forgery. You take it back to the guy with the quest and you give him the forgery. And it doesn't do anything. And he's like, I guess it didn't work. And then nothing happens. And he gives you $16,000 or gold coins and is like, I'll just try making money the normal way. And everything goes all right. And then you can go buy the book from him, the first and second books from him. And then you combine them and read them and you get a new spell. Apparently, it doesn't kill your family. So
it's probably because you don't have a family, right?
Something like that. Maybe it's because you're the Arisen, and so you have
you have nothing to lose.
Special plot armor.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, so I love the idea that you can like make forgeries and then hand them. There's another quest or two that I saw that you can make a forgery of the item and then complete the quest for both people. So you get double the reward. Anyway, and then on Friday, I played some more Hades 2. And let me tell you, that game is very good. It's in early access right now. And I don't know why. Because it seems like it's just done. It seems like it's pretty much fully completed. Have you played Hades 2 at all? Or Hades 1 for that matter?
I played a bit of Hades 1. I enjoy it somewhat, but I'm not super big on
roguelites.
The hardcore difficult roguelite genre. Like,
see,
I'm much more casual with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I got pretty good at Hades 1. And I apparently I'm pretty good just for how little I actually play. Because I'm not spending all day every day playing. I'll run a day or something like that, except for when I play it on stream. Go away, kitty. Sorry, there's a cat who keeps jumping on my desk. And so it's fun. I had a really good time with it. The music's great. It's made by Supergiant Games, who have made quite a few other games. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's early access, and normally I don't buy into early access, but it's Hades 2. It's got to be good,
Yeah,
and it is.
they're gonna do a good job.
And then one person was able to get, I'm sure other people have, but one person actually posted on YouTube that you were able to get to, or they were able to get to the final boss, Kronos. And they were able to get there on the first run. And there's a little bit of extra dialogue that they added if you're able to get to the final boss on the first run, which I thought was pretty good. You get there and he's like, "Wait, what are you doing here at this time?" Or something like that. The heck are you doing here? Um, so it's a good game series. I would recommend it, and it's only $30. It's not even $40. It's a $30 game, which I think is a fair price for it.
That is rather surprising considering that like Supergiant has the pedigree. They could get away with charging whatever they wanted, really.
Yeah, I think 40 would be my limit for paying for that. Like I would pay more for this game, but I probably wouldn't pay 60 in early access. But I think even
Yeah,
they could charge 40 and people would be okay with it.
100%.
So it's fun. Also, you have to fight sirens in the game, and they sing a song for you, which is about clawing your eyes out, and it is
Yeah,
legitimately.
that was on my Spotify. It was in my recommended.
It's such a good song. It is very catchy, and after you beat them one time, your character's like, "Stupid catchy song." Anyway, we're gonna move on to some news stories, and we got a lot of lawsuits to talk about this week. As with every week, we got to talk about lawsuits. And the first one is the big three telecom carriers are having to pay a $10 million settlement for false unlimited advertising. Which,
Wow.
$10 million to the
10
big.
whole mil.
Yep, it's T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. I don't know why I said it like that. Will pay a combined $10.2 million in a settlement with the U.S. states that allege the carriers falsely advertised wireless plans as unlimited and phones as free. The deal was announced yesterday by New York Attorney General Letitia James. This is all from Ars Technica. The quote here says, a multi-state investigation found that the companies made false claims and advertisements in New York and across the nation, including misrepresentations about unlimited data plans that were in fact limited and had reduced quality and speed after a certain limit was reached by the user. Yeah, that's how. I mean, they shouldn't be doing that. If you're saying you have unlimited data, then it should just be unlimited. But that is what they would often do, and I believe that's what my plan does as well. Is
They
after
they even put it like maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure they made it obvious if you like obviously you had to read the fine print, but
yeah.
they didn't exactly hide that like you're gonna get slowed down once you reach so much usage. Usually it's like 25 gigs or something.
Right, and that's in the fine print, like when you sign whatever you sign. But what I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Eh,
is that advertising. So like they air
oh no,
commercials.
no. I even mean on the commercials, like usually they'll have it like at the bottom of the screen. And like I'm sure that it's like because of this lawsuit that this happened, but whenever I was riding in a Lyft, a commercial for I think Verizon came on, and it was like get unlimited data, blah, 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 blah. And then like it went unlimited data is only until usage, and then it might get throttled. Blah, 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 blah. So like I don't know if it was like that before,
I don't know. I
but
know
I don't.
um when I worked at Consumer Cellular, the commercials there would say free activation. Uh, it was like free activation, free something else, like a free guarantee, like a 30-day free guarantee or whatever.
Oh
Um,
yeah, they had a money back guarantee. Yeah.
yeah, and it was like three things, and I can't remember exactly what it was because it was like a decade ago I worked there. But people would often call in and expect to get a free phone. And I'm like, you have to pay $35 for your phone, for the phone, before we send that out. Oh, free shipping. That's what it was. Free shipping. So free shipping, money back guarantee, and then the free activation. And I've had many times where I'm like, I have to go through this spiel. Just give me like a minute and a half to go through it, and it'll make it so much easier for both of us. And I had somebody who yelled at me, and they're like, just give me my free phone. And I'm like, you have to pay $35 for the phone. And then they hung up on me. But the way that they had worded it, it made people think, oh, that's free. And so I think that's similar to what's happening here, is they say, unlimited data. And they also go on to say that the part of it is that they offered free phones that came at a cost. So like, I'm going to buy this phone, but then you have to pay $50 for an activation fee.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's very similar to what happened at Consumer Cellular. States do have options for using the money, but it's $10 million. That's not a lot of money. And that's okay. That's $10 million.
That's between the three.
No, well, between the three, and the settlement involved 49 of the 50 United States.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Florida did not participate. So it was 49 of the states and the District of Columbia. So you're getting a pittance per state. So it's dumb. It should be more than this. If it should be relative to the amount of money that they make, because let's say AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile definitely make a lot of money. And
this should have been like over $1 billion.
Yeah,
minimally.
It says there are new advertising restrictions. And then we'll go on from there. Unlimited mobile data plans can only be marketed if there are no limits to the quantity of data allowed during the billing cycle. Okay. Offers to pay for consumers to switch to a different wireless carrier must clearly disclose how much the consumer will be paid, how consumers will be paid, when consumers can expect payment, and any additional requirements consumers have to meet to get paid. I've seen a lot of those, like from T-Mobile and stuff, like, hey, we'll pay for you to move from Verizon. But then I've never looked into it because I've never wanted to switch like that. But I've seen those, and that makes sense. Offers for free wireless devices or services must clearly state everything consumer must do to receive the free services or devices. Which that also makes sense. Like if you have to pay an activation fee or sign over your soul or sign a 2-year contract. Offers to lease wireless devices must clearly state the consumer will be entering into a lease agreement, and all savings claims must have reasonable basis. If a wireless carrier claims that consumers will save using its services compared to another wireless carrier, the claim must be based on similar goods or services, or differences must be clearly explained to the consumer. I guess that makes sense, because I could say, like, say there's like $100 plan, but it involves, it like has unlimited data, unlimited texting, all of that stuff, international dialing and traveling and stuff. And you're like, oh, you could save so much money if you switch to Mint Mobile and pay $15 a month or $25 a month. But if you want to travel internationally, then Mint Mobile is like $200 per gig when you're traveling internationally. And that's a lot of carriers.
Yeah. And like, a lot of times it's like you get unlimited data, but all the data usage over 5 gigabytes, you only get 28 kilobits per second.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit.
That's what happens to mine. Is I'm not sure what it throttles. I think it throttles it down to like 2G or 3G speeds. But like my girlfriend was like, she's like, I can't watch videos. My phone's been really dumb lately. And I'll look at the data and I was like, well, that's because you used 45 gigs of data.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's been a while since that happened, but she seriously went over, 50 gigs of data because she'll watch videos and stuff when she's driving around and like going into the woods and stuff, which I don't understand going in the woods, but whatever, to each their own. And then also like, she's been here and she forgot to turn her Wi-Fi back on. and
Oh,
just
yeah.
watched a bunch of stuff while here. So yeah, it happens. I've never used up that much, even when traveling internationally. I've never used up that much data. Um, but some people just use a ton of data, and then it gets throttled to 2 or 3G speeds. So it is good that they're putting some more rules on that. Again, it should have been at least $100 million. Something, at least $1 million a state,
Yeah.
instead of what everyone's getting, like 50 grand. Not sure how much they're getting, but they're not getting a lot of money.
I I bet the litigation in and of itself cost more than the settlement.
Probably, yeah. Our next story is another litigation, another lawsuit. Adobe is threatening to sue a Nintendo emulator called Delta for its
Yeah.
lookalike logo. And I mean, I see it that it's similar, but they're both using the Delta symbol from, like, what's it called? The, like, Alpha and Alpha
The
Omega
Greek alphabet.
Greek alphabet. Um, yeah, the Greek alphabet, or Greek letter Delta, and not in uppercase A. So this is dumb. Have you used Delta? It's an iOS emulator.
I have actually. It was like the first good emulator that came out officially on iOS. Um and yeah, it's great actually.
Yeah, it's
I had sideloaded it years ago. Whenever it could only do, I want to say, like Game Boy.
what does
Uh
it do? Like,
and
I thought it was NES or something, but what all does it
uh
do?
I believe it's Game Boy, NES. I think it even has like slow N64 support. If you sideload it, you can do full on, like full speed N64. Uh, that's a whole thing on its own. But
Okay.
like it's most Nintendo things. It might even be able to do DS.
Oh, that's
Could be
interesting.
wrong. Yeah, it's great. And it's free. So because
And apparently
it's
they're
open
getting
source.
sued, or they might get
Well,
sued.
they're not gonna get sued.
They won't.
They already changed their logo. The the dude the dude just essentially cut the logo in half horizontally, and then just like rotated the top part slightly so it just looks broken.
Oh, I see.
And he was like he was like, "Okay, this is our logo right now."
Yeah,
Uh
if you go to Engadget, I'm seeing it right now. If you go to the Engadget link below, there's a link there that it debuted a new logo, and yeah, and then it takes you to the Frost. It's Mastodon instance where it shows it, Frostodon or something like that.
oh, Fostodon.
Fostodon. Um, but yeah, it's I've never used the Delta emulator, but I also don't have iOS devices, so that would probably be
Yeah.
why.
You've just been able to put emulators on your phone since forever.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't play games on my phone.
I play games on my phone. I will say, like, most of the time playing on a touchscreen sucks.
Yeah.
I would really only ever play the main actually the main reason that I got it in the first place was to play the Pokemon trading card Game Boy Color game.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Um, I
Uh
would I would just get one of those controllers, like the add-ons that you like snap around.
yeah. Uh yeah.
And those are going to become a lot easier to get for you as well, because they're going to all the new iPhones are going to have USB-C ports.
Yeah, that's actually kind of part of why I don't already have one of those. I have a little thing to snap my phone on top of a PS4 controller,
Yeah.
but yeah, the actual like wraparound thing, I'm waiting until I have another iPhone that has USB-C before I bother with that. Because there's no way in hell that I would use a Bluetooth controller like that. Because
No.
I'm gonna forget to charge the damn thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, it would be great, but I would totally forget to charge it. Um, and then we're going to move on to our next story, which is another one that kind of has some litigation stuff, but not really. This is Marvel Rivals, which I don't even know what this is. I don't know what Marvel
It's
Rivals is.
it's Marvel Overwatch.
Okay. Yeah. Team-based PvP shooter in the Marvel universe developed by Marvel Games and NetEase. One of the big problems I have, before we get into the whole litigation stuff, one of the big problems I have with a lot of these Marvel games is they've done like Marvel MMOs or like these types of games, the hero shooters before, or announced them before, and then Marvel just pulls the plug for some reason. They like part of the reason why I think City of Heroes came about was because Marvel was working with that studio to make a Marvel game, and then they pulled the plug, and so City of Heroes came out.
That sounds familiar.
And then they had their Marvel Heroes game, which was like an isometric
It
game.
was Diablo.
Yeah, it was like Diablo. And then they just pulled that after a few years. So hopefully that doesn't happen with this, but if you
Was that
are getting in,
pre-Disney?
that was pre-Disney. All
Yeah,
that was
that
pre-Disney. Yeah.
that could be part of it because
Yeah.
I think the reason that this is even happening in the first place is because Disney's like, "What's that? We don't actually have to do anything." Okay.
But there are people playing Marvel Rivals right now, uh, in like a closed beta. But you're not allowed to talk bad about it, according to their non-disparagement agreement. And
Okay.
yeah, this is from Massively OP. We'll let you be a supported streamer, but you're not allowed to say bad things about our game. And that's effectively what NetEase's Marvel Rivals was demanding streamers who were looking to join the shooter's content creator program. According to some of the legal fine print shared by one streamer who expressed his interest in joining in. The non-disparagement agreement clause of the contracts, which was brought to light on Twitter by former Overwatch pro Brandon Siegel Larned, asserts that content creators who sign the agreement cannot make any public statements or engage in discussions that are detrimental to the reputation of the game. Which is not.
Go fuck
not good.
yourselves.
Yeah, I would totally not do that. As in, I would totally just talk shit about the game.
Yeah, no, that's you, what what fucking what fucking year do they think it is? Where like you're just gonna get away with having that in your fucking content creation agreement?
I
Like, you
think
know what's gonna happen is no one's gonna fucking sign your stupid agreement.
yeah. So when you started your job, or any of your jobs, have you had to sign like a big stack of papers that's like, okay, you're signing over, like if you make any work here while you're on the clock, then it's ours. Stuff like that. Have you
I
ever had to
have
sign that?
previously.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think I've had to do that where I currently work, but where I
me neither.
previously worked, we had to sign a lot of stuff. You're signing the normal stuff like you agree to work here, you're a citizen, but there's also like in one of the like 10 sheets that you have to fill out was like if you make anything while you work here, then we can claim it as ours.
Yeah.
And I didn't care because I don't make anything. Like I don't design anything like graphics websites for the company or anything like that. So I didn't really care. My coworker, she started after I did, was like reading through the papers and she's like, "Oh," and just skipped that page.
Mhm.
And they didn't notice for months. And so eventually HR was like, "Hey, we were looking over your paperwork and you didn't sign this thing that said that we own you." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't sign that." And HR was like, "Well, you have to sign it to work here." And she's like, "No, I don't. I've been working here and I haven't had to sign that." And HR was like, "Well, you need to sign this." And my coworker was like, "No, I'm not going to sign that." And eventually HR just gave up and they never fired her.
Yeah, because like it would be a nightmare for them to fire her at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been. But it's similar to this. Technically, you don't have to sign it. But then also they don't have
Nope.
to let you into the beta if you don't sign it.
Yeah.
However, because this came out and NetEase, got a bunch of flack for it, they are promising to revise it. They've also apologized for what it calls a miscommunication of the contract's terms. It says, we actively encourage creators to share their honest thoughts, suggestions, and criticisms as they play. The studio statement reads, all feedback, positive and negative, ultimately helps us craft the best experience for ourselves and the players. We sincerely apologize for the confusion, suspicion, and frustration caused by these excessively restrictive terms, and thank you for sharing it with us. And I'm gonna give NetEase a little bit of flack, or not, a little bit of grace on this, and say that it is possible that they weren't like the legal team and the developers weren't really talking to each other. And the legal team could have just put out this non-disparage agreement without other people really knowing about it. Because you can see that happen where it's like, oh, well, we just have this form letter that we put on all of our games and we're just going to put that out. And the developers are like, wait, what? Once they find out. But on the other hand, it shouldn't have been in there. If you're playing a game, you should be able to shit on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you're getting paid, like you should be able to give your honest opinions. And I've always hated, I hated when I worked at Sony that I had to sign an NDA that meant I wasn't able to talk about like game features and stuff. I understand why they do it, but I'm not a fan of NDAs in general. NDAs, non-disparage agreements. Thankfully, the one that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago with non-compete clauses are illegal now, which is great. But yeah, all of these things that like companies use to silence their employees or game players or whatever, I think it's dumb. Do you have anything to add? Have you played Marvel Rivals? Are you a content creator for them?
I have absolutely no desire to play a hero shooter at all, ever.
Ever? I like
Ever.
Overwatch. I like Overwatch for the most part. I don't know if this is gonna be free. If Marvel Rivals is free, I might pick it up.
It
But
will be. It's from NetEase. It's going to be
oh,
it's going to be a free to play game. Like that's
microtransaction
what they
hell.
do. Yeah, it's
Yep.
going to be chock full of microtransactions. It's going to be mid as fuck,
Yep.
and the only the reason that I was being so like facetiously adamant is I don't know if have you seen the rumors about Valve is finally coming out
Yeah.
with another game and it's just fucking Overwatch, which
Deadlock?
which I
Dreadlock.
find fascinating. I think it's Deadlock.
Deadlock.
Uh I find that fascinating considering that like they already have TF2, you know?
Yeah, it says that they're gonna mix Dota, Overwatch,
Yeah.
and Fortnite.
It's from what little I have seen, it reminds me very much of was it called Paragon? Is that it?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's still around. Paragon
Uh I think it is in a very like
maintenance
limited
mode.
capacity where it's like there are a few devs like within Epic or some shit or like an offshoot that are keeping it alive because they really like the concept, but like it is not a first class citizen by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I
But
think I've.
it seems like that's what Valve is going for.
We'll see how we'll see how that goes. Again, I'll probably play it just to try it out. With Deadlock, the Valve game. But
I
I'm
could
not holding out
not
any hope.
possibly be any less interested.
Just play Hades. Just pick up Hades. It runs at 60 frames a second on the Steam Deck. It's great. It's fantastic. I know everyone else loves mobile gaming, and I I've played it on the Steam Deck, and it runs great. So do that. Oh wait, you don't like the super difficult roguelikes?
Yeah,
Even
I'm
the
I'm just gonna I'm gonna I stole my wife's 3DS and hacked it. So I'm gonna play a bunch of 3DS games.
do that.
So
Did you install the capture out mod?
I'm actually yeah, I'm gonna do that. Because you can just like it's like a whatever you call it, like a system patch thing. It'll do video out over Wi-Fi,
Oh, that's cool.
and
I
then
didn't know that.
you just connect the audio via a headphone cable.
I didn't know that. I saw one that was like a hardware, like you had to.
Yeah, that's what you had to do on the first gen 3DS, but she's got a new 3DS,
Oh,
and the extra horsepower that it has, you can use that overhead to send it over Wi-Fi.
that's pretty cool. We're gonna move on to our last story, and this one I found today, and I thought it was hilarious. This is from Ars Technica. Arizona woman accused of helping North Koreans get remote IT jobs at 300 companies.
What? What?
300 companies. It says an Arizona woman, this is again from Ars Technica, an Arizona woman has been accused of helping generate millions of dollars for North Korea's ballistic missile program by helping citizens of that country land IT jobs at US based Fortune 500 companies. Christina Marie Chapman of Litchfield Park, Arizona, raised $6.8 million in the scheme, federal prosecutors said in an indictment unsealed Thursday. Chapman allegedly funneled the money to North Korea's munitions industry department, which is involved in key aspects of North Korea's weapons program, including its development of ballistic missiles. Um, and then we go down, it says in a quote, the conspiracy perpetrated a staggering fraud on multitude of industries at the expense of generally unknowing U.S. companies and persons. It impacted more than 300 companies, compromised more than 60 identities of U.S. persons, caused false information to be conveyed to DHS on more than 100 occasions, created false tax liabilities for more than 35 U.S. persons, and resulted in at least 6.8 million of revenue to be generated for the overseas IT workers. The overseas IT workers worked at blue chip U.S. companies, including top 5 national television network and media company, a premier Silicon Valley technology company, an aerospace and defense manufacturer, an iconic American car manufacturer, a high-end retail chain, and one of the most recognizable media and entertainment companies in the world, all of which were Fortune 500 companies. And I have one thing to say about this. I want this person to find me a job. This person is
Like
amazing.
yeah, the like the amount of logistics that this person has managed to go through to make all this work is very impressive, especially for being 49.
Yeah.
Uh, this person operated a laptop farm at one of her residences to give the employers the impression that North Korean IT staffers were working from within the US. The laptops were issued by the employers, and by using proxies and VPNs, the overseas workers appeared to be connecting from US based IP addresses.
She also
Like,
received employees' paychecks at her home, prosecutors said.
well, because that's what I was like, there's so many aspects of this where like, how do you get around like, yeah, like they're going to be tracking where your IP address is,
Hmm.
especially at like major companies like this. Like they're but wow,
Yeah, and
what a
I've
how impressive.
I know, like I've worked with recruiters before, and they were not as good as this. They were kind of crappy, and this person, she's amazing. Um,
Uh, it does say that there were 3 North Korean IT workers using aliases that had been working since at least 2020 to plan a remote work scheme. At which point messaged Chapman, the American who aided in this, on LinkedIn, and invited her to be the U.S. face of their company.
Interesting.
Uh, so it was apparently a joint effort, but she was
Yeah.
kind of their in with the U.S. side of things.
Man,
And
every time I'm contacted by a recruiter, it's like, "Hey, do you want to work for less money and less PTO?" It's never, "Hey,
yeah.
do you want to work for North Korea?" I never get those fun offers. Um,
Yeah,
well, and
it's always just like, "Hello, I am Indian man name. I am a recruiter for a company you've never heard of. Would you like a 6-month contract working for half your current pay?"
yeah, no, no, or and on site from day one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, like, "All right, nah, go fuck yourself." All right, yeah.
so and also like, I wonder how many people they've also reached out to before they got her, because that
Yeah,
sounds like a scam.
it really does.
Like, it
Yeah.
obviously was a conspiracy and, like, somewhat of a scam, but it sounds like "Hey, do you wanna work for our company and we get all your information and cost you $1,000 or $2,000?" It's n
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like "Oh, I'm actually gonna be working for North Korea? That's weird." Um, it does say Chapman was arrested on Wednesday. It wasn't immediately known when she or the Denko were scheduled to make their first appearance in court. If convicted, she could have up to 97.5 years in prison. And the Dai Denko faces up to 67.5 years in prison.
Uh Didenko is Alexander Didenko,
Okay.
in Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty much the same scheme, but uh, in Ukraine.
I know. Yeah, I to go back to your point about like IP addresses and stuff. Um, I have tried a couple of times. Not try to like dip like hard, but I asked my boss, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Germany, or I'm gonna go to Japan for X amount of days. Do you want me to take my laptop with me to work over there? And he's like, absolutely not. You cannot work out of the country. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, my company blocks traffic to like 90% of the rest of the world.
yeah. The we have there is so before there was in the handbook like, hey, you can work remotely, but you have to have your manager's approval, and you have to have the VP of Human Resources also give their approval. And so I was like, well, if I leave, if I go, and he's like, no, I will not approve it, because once you access Dentrix, you have patient information at your fingertips, and that information is
Yeah.
going over international lines.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That it the anything with that can be just the biggest fucking HIPAA nightmare, and no one wants to fuck with that.
exact, and that's his reasoning. But then they updated it. They sent an email and they're like, congratulations, we're working on getting people working internationally. Here's what you need to do. And I was like, let's read through this. This is gonna be it's obviously gonna be easier that since they updated it. And the first rule was you have to have a visa to work in the area that you're going to. And I was like, well, fuck you guys. So no, I cannot I cannot work internationally. Um, Not even Canada, which is funny because we're owned by a Canadian company. And then so not Canada, and there's also we have a base somewhere in Ireland. Not us, but like our overlords we have like some Delta Dental or Sun Life or um DentaQuest base in Ireland somewhere. And that's another place we just can't work. Can't work there either. So, unfortunately, no internationals working. And you said that they block 90% of IP traffic from around the world?
Yep. I there are like a handful of countries that are whitelisted, but for the most part, all international internet traffic is completely blocked.
That makes sense. Um,
Yeah, because it's like we don't we're a rather localized company. Like we do business in 2 states, and then sometimes we work with companies in other states. So, but like we don't do anything internationally.
Oh yeah. See, we work with a lot of states. Obviously Oregon, but then we have bases in like Texas and Florida. And then that's just our company. Just the our section of the company, I guess is what it would be. And then
Most of the
there's
time, we deal with Iowa. That's like the only one outside of Illinois and Missouri that we deal with.
interesting. Yeah, we have um we don't have any bases. Like our clinics are just Oregon. We used to have 2 clinics in Washington, but those shut down. And then we have nothing in California or anything. But then we have stuff on the what we call the East, which is like Texas, Florida, Alabama, and we're constantly helping them. Like I have to image their computers because the computers on that side for the longest time were just like they would get the computers and use whatever operating system was on there and not like image the computers or have like a bait. So they would have to like bring the computer in, use like Windows 10 or 11, whatever they were using, and then install the software on there. And I was like, what is wrong with you guys? But yeah,
I worked for
this
a place like that for a while.
yeah, I mean, we would get it like when I first started, we would get things, we would make sure that they all had like just a standard version of Windows 10 Pro or Windows 7 Pro at the time. Um, and then I would install the stuff. But when you're in, we didn't have that many when I first started. Like there there weren't that many computers um that we had deployed. It's not like we had, you know, 53 sites that we were deploying computers for. And so it didn't make that much sense to have like a bunch of images. But then now where I work, it makes zero sense to not have like a standard image you can just roll out to everyone.
Yeah.
I've looked into Smart Deploy and it seems awesome, but I'm never going to use it. It's so expensive. Have you looked into any of those like cloning softwares like Smart Deploy? They're so expensive. We are getting way off topic though. If this girl makes it out of this without going to prison, well, I mean, she's definitely going to prison. But I would love a recruiter who is half as good as she is.
Yeah.
Just, and I'm surprised none of the comments are like, "Man, she is amazing." um, I do see one comment here. It says, "This is why return to office is so vital."
Yeah, all right.
Don't. I'm so happy that we're not going to do return to office. I don't think you are either, right?
Not full time. I go 2 days a week, but
Yeah, that's me. That's me too. Well, one time a week for me, but yeah. Or hey, we need you to drive 400 miles tomorrow. Like, okay, fine. But anyway, those are our news stories for the day. We'll be back next week talking about more news stories. I want to thank you for being here, Roa.
I was here. I'm so glad to be back in the basement.
I mean, you are. You said you hated Chicago.
Yeah. I gotta go back to work tomorrow, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to either. All right, we'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Bye.